Good morning, everyone. It's Barb Katie here, and things are looking really, really great in West Virginia right now. We had a little bit of light snow over the weekend, in spite of the fact that spring is officially here, but there was no accumulation, and while it's still below freezing, I have every confidence that eventually spring will begin to make things warm up and everything will begin to bloom and blossom. Spring is my very favorite time of the year where I live because of the 40 shades of green that we see as the plants begin to wake up from their long winter sleep. You can look out across our mountains and see all the different colors that are coming into play, and that makes me happy. Also, the forsythia will soon be blooming, as well the redbud trees, which are particular favorites in our mountainside. So there's so much to look forward to, and the way the wind is blowing today, it might be a good time to go out and fly a kite. That's great exercise and certainly a lot of fun. And I'm lucky to have some little girls next door to me that think I'm pretty cool because I get out there and do stuff like that with them. So the adventure continues here in the mountains, and I keep finding new ways to stay active and have fun at the same time, which is really important to me. I am not much of a person who just exercises for the sake of the exercise. I like to do things that bring joy to me, and sometimes, if I'm real lucky, to people that tag along with me on whatever adventure I try to scurry up to have fun doing. Today, I want to share some more Aesop's fables with you. I did not realize how carefully my parents selected reading material for us as children, and revisiting some of the things that they read to us when we were little is really making me appreciate their efforts to give me every opportunity to develop my sense of what's right and wrong and what's really important in life. And I came across this one the other day, and I'm sure you will remember it because whether you knew you were reading Aesop or not, you probably have heard this story too. It's the story of the lion and the mouse. And the story goes like this: a lion was fast asleep in the jungle when a little mouse went scurrying by and woke him up. The lion just opened up his great big jaw to swallow the mouse whole. But the mouse says, "Oh, please, please don't do that, Mr. Lion. Please think again. Someday I might be useful to you in the future." And the lion laughed at the idea that a tiny little mouse could ever be of any use to him, but he let him go. Sometime later, the lion got caught in a trap set by some hunters. At that moment, the same little mouse walked by and noticed the mouse was trapped. They had hung a net in the trees, and the lion had stepped on the trigger, and the net had fallen out of the tree and tangled the lion up so he could not get free. Well, the little mouse walks all around the net, and the lion's looking at him, and finally the little mouse walked up and began to chew. And eventually he managed to gnaw his way through the rope and freed the lion. The mouse smiles and looks up at the great big lion and says, "See, I was right when you let me go. Someday down the road, might be able to do something for you." And the lesson is, in the story, little friends may prove to be great friends. You never know who will be able to help you the most as your life continues. So it's really good to maintain great relationships with everyone and be kind to everyone. You never know where your kindness to them can lead in the future. Um, Letting the mouse go free was certainly something that enabled the lion later on down the road to continue with his life journey. Had he been mean or unkind or even eaten the mouse, that opportunity would have been totally gone. Um, we think about that very often when you see people who gain success on the backs of their friends and coworkers. And then when hard times come, as they seem to always do, they find themselves standing alone because they were not been kind or caring or concerned about the well-being of those people who helped to ensure their success. I hope in our chapters we always remember that each of us needs to be kind to the other as we go through life. And then related to the theme of kindness, there was another one of Aesop's fables that I came across that fits in really well here. And this is the story of the north wind and the sun, and how to ensure the best results as you move forward in your life, and how to even live your best life, because kindness always is a part of living your best life. And the story in this fable goes like this. The wind and the sun were arguing one day over which one of them was the stronger of the two. The wind, of course, felt he was. The sun, of course, knew he was. Suddenly, they saw a traveler coming down the road, and they decided to settle the argument over by determining which one of them could get the traveler to take off his coat. The wind blew as hard as it could, but that made the traveler tighten his coat up even more. No matter how hard he blew, the traveler was not going to tighten up his coat. No amount of force was going to make that happen. So finally, the wind sighed and he told the sun, he said, okay, you take your crack at this guy and see what you can do. So the sun softly began to shine its rays on the traveler. The traveler looked up, and suddenly he began to feel hot and sweaty and sticky. And he unbuttoned his coat to let a little fresh air in. And the sun just kept on shining quietly. Eventually, the traveler removed his coat. Well, obviously, the wind had to concede that the sun had indeed proven he was the stronger of the two. And the lesson for this story is persuasion is better than force. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. A kind and gentle manner like the sun is always better than cold threats and force. So, if you ever need something from someone, it is better to be kind and humble rather than yelling at them. As you might find, they're going to respond much better. And I got to think about that as so many of us question the effectiveness of the practices we have in our chapters, and whether punishing someone is better than encouraging someone. Well, I think you can tell from these stories that my thought is always to be the encourager, to be the cheerleader, to be kind. There's no point in punishing someone unnecessarily or without finding a way to help them accomplish the thing that they're seeking to accomplish. Um, Many chapters use gainer fines and other kinds of penalties for people in contests or little local chapter awards. And is this really helping the individual in their journey to live a healthier, better life? I think all of us know when we choose not as wisely as we could. And is it helpful for someone to just emphasize that we chose badly? Or is it more helpful for someone to try to support and teach us as we make changes every day in our lives? And is it better to be kind to someone when they know they've made a mistake rather than put it out there on display and say, well, you messed up, shame on you? How helpful is that? How encouraging is that? I think probably Henry James said it best of all. And his quote on this is very simple and one that I think that all of us could embrace and live by. Henry James said, 3 things in human life are important. The first one is to be kind. The second thing is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. I hope you have a wonderful day and practice kindness as you go about your life today and see what sunshine it brings, not only to the person with whom you share it, but to yourself as well. You have a great day, and I'm going to go fly a kite. Talk to you later. Bye.